So, you've been posting content for your business and views aren't turning into leads. You spend hours recording content, you pay thousands of dollars to a video editor, you go through 10 rounds of revisions, upload the content, create the thumbnails, titles, descriptions, and after all of that work, you get 20 views and zero leads. Or maybe something clicks, right? And you get 100 views, 500 views, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, and you put a very thick call to action at the end for people to book a free consultation with you. But then no one bites. I know how frustrating that might sound. And we found a way to break that trend. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why that gap exists and the three-part fix that will help you turn your views into actual leads and paying clients, and how we've used this for a guy's channel who went from 300 subscribers to 600. But listen to this, turn that into $100,000 worth of closed deals every single month. I'll also show you how I used this for my own personal brand and my own channel, and how we also use this to create a blueprint for a channel of one of the biggest names in the coaching space. We call this the ultimate personal brand blueprint, and we've used it to help over 100 plus clients over the past 14 years build brands that turn strangers into buyers. Our company is called Block 10 Strategy. We're a content marketing agency that has worked with service business founders, financial advisors, wealth managers, lawyers, SaaS founders, and coaches. And we've generated over $10 million in the last 10 years for our clients and attracted about 4 million followers and subscribers in their networks, and launched 100 plus offers that have generated as much as 100,000 in one launch alone. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how we generated this. And there's an entire sequence to all of this. And so make sure to watch the entire video, because this framework does not work if you do not apply every single aspect to it. So let's start with the problem. This is the map that a lot of business owners want, that they can get views and then eventually turn those views into leads. And from leads, they can turn those leads into sales. And many businesses, especially the ones that we work with, we see this pattern all the time, that this portion of the business is not really much of a problem because they've learned how to generate and turn those leads that do come in into sales. They have, conversion rates of 30%, or sometimes even way better. Some of them can convert as much as 80% of those people once they get them into a discovery call. But the big gap that happens is between these two parts of this entire journey completely, right? And so they have problems with turning viewers into leads. No problem with turning leads into sales. They can easily do that with their eyes closed. They've done it for so many times already. They have the testimonials, they got the social proof, they've got the pitch deck. But the problem is that they can't turn views into leads. And the reason why that is because there's a gap that occurs between this part of the journey, where how do you actually turn people who see your content on social media, on YouTube, or any other digital platform, and get them to actually book a call with you. And the reason why I see that is because there's a missing gap that happens, right? This whole sequence is something that I call a trust map. And in a trust map, there are different phases to it. It starts with someone being a stranger. So it's someone who sees your content online, probably watch a video, they go to your social media channel. And then from there, you hope that they will become a buyer, or at least, at the very least, a lead, right? And so this entire problem that I see is that people, business owners specifically, who create content for their brands, they're actually skipping some very important steps, because from stranger they hope that they actually become a buyer right away. And it's quite weird, right? Because think of it this way. You go on a date with someone, your first date with them, and that person, for example, if you're on a date with them, they propose to you right away. How does that feel? Kind of weird. And it's very cringe even at some point. But that's what I see happen online with a lot of business owners who want to turn these strangers online, who probably did not know about them 5 minutes before they saw your content, and all of a sudden you're saying, hey, book a call with me, we might be able to work together. It's kind of weird. It's like proposing on your first date with someone. There is a journey that happens, and that journey there are a lot more steps between being a stranger to now becoming a buyer for your business. And so the first step that you actually want is to turn those strangers into an audience. And for them to become an audience, they need to subscribe to your channel, they need to follow your brand, they need to see a bit more content. There's actually some studies that show that they need to interact with at least 7 hours worth of your digital content before you can actually get their trust, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then from there, you want to turn your audience into a believer first. So a believer is someone who has watched your videos. They think that you probably know what you're talking about. They know that you have the expertise, and they think that it's worth their time to continue consuming their content. But the gap that happens usually is now, how do we turn them from believers to actual buyers where they trust you enough to go and say, yeah, I have a certain budget, I have money set aside, I want to pay this person for his expertise, for his services, for her coaching, or for her ideas. Now, here's the thing that not a lot of content experts will tell you. You can get a lot of people to go from to stage one because views are cheap. Reach is cheap. It's not as important. Now, I don't know where you are on this line right now. You're probably already thinking, yeah, that's me. I'm stuck at believer. Or probably I've been trying to win, someone's hand in marriage on the first date. And that's fine, by the way, no judgment, because these are principles that that not a lot of people really talk about online in bigger depth, which is why I'm making this video, so that someone will finally explain to you how this entire process actually works. Now, the reason why you're stuck at stranger, audience, believer, which, believe me, and I understand you, is not a place that you want to be in if you're a business owner creating content to generate leads for your business. But if you've been getting views but not leads, I can tell you why without even looking at your channel or your platforms. Because most likely we're probably skipping some steps here and there. You probably heard a lot of these content experts talk about providing value online. And like a lot of it already is cliche, right? Because we hear it all the time. And I talk about building value as well for people. I believe in creating value. I'm creating value for you right now because value does matter in an economy where people want to get a sense of what you know first, especially if you're an expert, a service business owner, a coach who's trying to prove to people and show to people that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just someone who's faking it until I make it. I want to provide value to people. And, in some way or another, there's also a philosophical aspect to it where we want to change people's lives. I really believe that. And in our business, we love working with clients that are out there to make a difference in the lives of other people. But as important as value is, it's not enough to turn people from strangers to audience to believers and eventually becoming a buyer, someone who is willing to part with their hard earned cash to work with you. Because as important as value is, you need something else. And what you need is to build trust, to engineer trust. And a lot of business owners, we don't make this a priority. And again, no judgment, because we've all made this mistake before. And I don't blame you, because a lot of content consultants will tell you that the only scoreboard that you need to focus on is views, going viral, building value, getting people to watch your content, getting people to subscribe, and all of that is important once again. But the missing piece here, the gap that turns people into believers, from believers to buyers, is to win their trust. So now the $1 million question is, how do you engineer that trust? What we use in Block 10 Strategy is a framework that we built over the years, and it's called the CEO framework. And CEO is an acronym that stands for three important pillars. The first pillar is your customer, knowing who your customer is. And that might sound very basic, but hear me out, because there's a lot of people who we work with did not understand in the beginning. And when they unlocked that, it really built such a big, massive lead generation engine for them. The next step is to know your expertise and to communicate properly. And lastly is to deliver an offer so compelling, so irresistible, that people will feel stupid if they don't buy into that offer. So let's go through each of these pillars one by one. Let's start with the customer. Now, every business owner knows that finding a customer profile matters. We hear it all the time. You need to know your target audience. You need to know who you're trying to reach, the demographic. Are they in their mid 30s, six figures, based in the US? That's a demographic. And demographics are, once again, they're helpful, but they don't convert. Well, because what actually converts is the symptom of that demographic. Now, let me explain what that is with this illustration right here. Now, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and maybe you're a big Star Wars fan too. If not, then hear me out and give me a chance. I'm sure that all of you know the storyline of Luke Skywalker, right? He is this orphan. He was raised by. Later on, he finds out that they're complete strangers. They're not their actual family, and so he finds out that he has this ability to control the force and that he's actually a Jedi, right? But he all his life he did not know that he had this ability. And so from there he finds out that he has to, he has to defeat this this big government system that has been controlling the galaxy for so many years, and then he finds his arch nemesis Darth Vader. But then in a battle for his life, he finds out that Darth Vader is actually his father. Big spoiler alert. If you haven't watched Star Wars, not my fault. But he's in this moment of extreme pain where his hand is literally cut off by his arch nemesis father, and he is broken inside because everything now is he's questioning everything. And then he escapes the battle, and then he lands on this remote island where he meets this very mysterious figure named Yoda, who we later find out is an actual Jedi, and that he's been training Jedi for many many years. And so he takes Luke Skywalker under his wing, and then he turns him into a master Jedi that saves the entire universe. Really just trying to give you an idea of the storyline. But many times with business owners, when we build our personal brands, it's really this storyline as well. But the problem that I see with people who are building personal brands for their business is that these business owners, these founders, these coaches are telling their story in such a way where they are the Luke Skywalker of the story. They're the hero of the story. They're telling them, this is what I can do. This is my mastery of the force. This is my journey. And all of that is good, but that's not the kind of story that will build trust for your audience. What we should be trying to do instead is turn a story where our audience, our customer, is the Luke Skywalker of the story, and we are this little green creature right here. That you will become someone's Yoda. That you will be the guide that helps someone become the Master Jedi, to help them to succeed, to help them to reach a desired outcome. And so we saw this when we started working with one of our clients. His name is Rico Desengaño. He's a wealth manager based in Singapore, and he wanted to help Filipinos, high net worth Filipinos, invest in the global markets. And when we looked at his content, we looked at his socials, we saw one thing glaring, that the Luke Skywalker of his story was Rico Desengaño, where he was talking about his brand. By the way, again, nothing wrong about that. And I do believe that there has to be some parts of an origin story so that people know who you are. But that's not enough. Because while you want to communicate to people that this is who you are, the question is, why should I work with you? Why should I trust you? Why should I listen to you? Why should I spend minutes, if not hours, of my time consuming your content and eventually trusting you enough to give you my hard-earned cash so that I can work with you? And so we worked with Rico Desengaño. We created an ideal customer profile. We started to identify the pain points, to see what their desired outcome was. And after a couple of weeks of working together, we started to launch content for his channel. And what happened was, eventually, we started to generate some videos on YouTube that would get 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 views. But the most important part was that these viewers were turning into actual closed deals. There was even a point where he was telling us, bro, you're giving me a big problem because now I can't handle all of the leads that are coming in. And so he was telling me the story actually 2 weeks ago that he's now starting to build a team under him so that he can start to keep up with the demand. This one video alone, although it generated just about 2,000, north of 2,000 views for him, it's now generated as many as 15 closed deals for him. And it continues to generate 15 plus close deals every 2 to 3 months for him. Just that one video alone. We generate multiple videos for him every single month. And so the unlock for us here was understanding who Rico Desengaño's customer was. Who was the Luke Skywalker of history, and how could we communicate to them that we are the Yoda that you've been looking for all this time? Or if you crashed on a desert planet, you find out that I'm the person who could turn you into a master Jedi. That's the first step to this entire framework. So the second part of this framework, now after you know who your customer is to now communicate your expertise. And a lot of business owners that I work with, they really struggle with this because of something called imposter syndrome. And so I look at their content and I see right away that they feel like they're holding back, on communicating their own personal expertise, personal story. This is the part where you start to tell people what you can actually do for them. And because many experts have a sense of imposter syndrome, this is where a lot of the in this entire framework starts to fall apart as well, where you start to create content and people can sense right away that you're second guessing what you're saying, you're holding back, you're not really delivering your expertise to the level that it really deserves, that you're actually doing your work over the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years a big disservice. So you owe it to your expertise to give it the airtime that it deserves. And I'm talking about this out of my own personal experience. I had a lot of imposter syndrome. And I decided to say, to hell with this imposter syndrome. And of course, it's still there a little bit. But I wanted to address it bit by bit. And so what happened there? I started to build my own personal brand, my YouTube channel, Kiko Mabilog, and I started to talk about financial independence and time freedom, which is a topic that I'm very passionate about. And I started the coaching business to help other founders and business owners build financial independence and time freedom for themselves. And from about 90 subscribers, I had this YouTube channel that was stuck at 90, 100 subscribers for months, right? And I was barely posting content. And when I did post content, it wasn't really generating any leads. It wasn't getting any views. It wasn't building engagement. It wasn't really building my personal brand. But I made a shift. I took out the imposter syndrome and I said, I need to share my expertise to people to show them my results. How I had time freedom. I was working 20 to 25 hours a week on my business, and I was building financial independence to a point where I had already semi-retired at the age of 35 years old. And so when I started to share that expertise to people, the subscribers started to come in. So from about 100 subscribers, now my channel is close to 4,300 subscribers after just 60 plus YouTube videos. And from actually the most important thing for me actually as a business owner was that the leads started to come in, that I would get 3 discovery calls, 5 discovery calls, to a point I even had 10 discovery calls in one single week alone. And all because I understood now that I have to communicate my expertise in a certain way. And there is a certain math to it where it doesn't sound like, boasting or bragging, maybe a little bit, but it feels, credible enough for me to go and say, I need to work with this person. And many times when people do jump into a discovery call with me, it's so easy to close them. I kid you not, because they tell me all this. I hear them say this all the time. I feel like I already know you because I watch so much of your content. And just like the other day, I closed another coaching client who had already watched like 3 of my videos, and in just 2 meetings alone, 30 minutes each, they were already signing a deal worth thousands of dollars with to work with me and my team. So that's what happens when you build your expertise. Over the course of the past couple of months, I've been able to build my channel to bring in close to 100,000 viewers every 3 months or so. And like I said, right, 10, 5, probably at the very least 3 discovery calls every single week for my coaching business. And I've actually closed already my enrollment for my coaching business, and I already have a wait list that's about the same length as the number of coaching clients that I have. Why? Because people know I know what I'm talking about, because I've communicated my expertise. The last part of this framework is to now deliver an offer so compelling that people will feel stupid not to get it. And the last case study that I want to share here with you is one of the biggest names in coaching in the Philippines. His name is Chingitan. He's a mentor of mine, a good friend. And when I started working with him, I was actually his HR manager. I wasn't even a marketing person. But a few months ago, he came to me with a big problem. He said, Kiko, my YouTube channel, you see it, you work with me. It's been dropping and dying slowly for the past couple of years. It's not getting as many views. We're not really getting the close deals that we want. We're not getting coaching clients or to the level that we want to. Can you help me out? And so the past couple of months, what I've been doing is I've been helping him build different offers. One of them being the Yayaman in Life, or the house, which is the known as the House of Financial Freedom. And the House of Financial Freedom has now become this coaching network and coaching community that has a few thousand people in that community alone. Paid people, by the way. They're not just there for free, right? They're paying to be part of that community. Why? Because we created an offer so compelling that when people saw this value stack, when they saw the testimonials, when they saw the inclusions, and they saw the desired outcomes and the transformation that we could give them, they started to go and say, I want to be a part of that community as well. So, all that to say, if you take the CEO framework, which might sound simple on paper, and I love that it's very simple actually, because now it shows you no matter who you are, you can implement this in your business as well. If you do that, then you actually have a business that can generate dollars, can generate sales, that can generate paying clients for you. Now, here's the main map again, right? First and foremost, understanding that all of your people, all of the people that interact with you online start as a stranger, become an audience, then believer and buyer. And now you have to earn their trust by using this framework called the CEO framework, where you need to understand who your customer is, you need to understand what expertise you need to talk about, and to deliver an offer so compelling that they feel stupid not to work with you. Now, if you see all of this and you understand that this framework, definitely I need it for my business, but I definitely need help, I've got some good news for you. If you need help applying this into your channel, here's how that can work. Number one is you can contact us. We have a full done for you service where we take care of strategy, scripts, production, packaging, some SEO, social support underneath it. All of this to help you get the results that people like Rico, Chinky, and our other clients have right now. That this is the level of work behind all of our clients, right? If if you're here and you're saying, I really want to take my firm to the next level, I need someone to help me deliver customer expertise and offer, to help me script my videos, to edit the videos, to generate the thumbnails, descriptions, and get it in front of the right people, then we're here for you. If you want to do that, then there is a link in the description below where you can book a discovery call with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to meet you, even if we're not going to get a close deal right away. I love talking to business owners. I love hearing about why you started your business, and just give you even some insights at the get go, even in the call alone. Just give you some insights into how you can take the CEO framework and implement it into your business, even if you do it yourself. Now, if you're here also and you're saying that I don't need a full done for you service because I edit my own videos, I already have an internal team, that's completely fine, because we also have a strategy package where I can help with script direction, coaching you on the delivery, and then handling your titles, thumbnails, descriptions, and your packaging, which is arguably one of the most important parts of your entire strategy, which a lot of businesses really skip. I can help you with all of that, and then your team can record and edit your videos, and you'll still get very close to the same result. Now, here's the catch, right? And this is one thing I need to be straight about. We can only handle as many as 5 clients at a time because we really believe in quality. Now, we're actually very close to this limit right now. So, across both options, whether it's the full done for you or the strategy package, we can only take 5 clients at a time. And as I'm recording this, I probably I just closed. I told you I just closed one a few days ago, and now we only have 4 slots left. And this is not a scare tactic, by the way. It's not a scarcity thing. It's honestly and seriously the only capacity that we have right now at the size, because we really want to focus on the result. We're not just doing this just because we want to make a quick buck, to make a sale. We're really serious about helping businesses communicate their expertise so that they can grow and scale in whatever industry they're part of. So if this made sense to you, if you can see what part of your channel, whether customer expertise or offer, needs the most work. I've got a link in the description once again below to book a call with me. No commitments yet. We just want to start a conversation. If it's a fit, then you'll know. If it's not, then I wish you well either way. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value in this, you can also subscribe as well. And I hope that you continue to see and I hope to continue creating more videos to help more businesses like you build personal brands that communicate your expertise to the right people and build offers that generate meaningful revenue for your enterprise. So send the word. I'll see you in my inbox, and I'm excited to talk to you. See ya. Bye.